slept there in peace.
This message is brought to you by Rural Initiative for Poverty Alleviation, Development and Empowerment.
This no government will take us serious. For anybody who not just hold the motor, 50,000, 50,000. Come on from the car. Come on from the car. Come on. 50,000. No. What is that?
The National Committee Against Tartan, NCAT, is arresting anyone who
President Jonathan flags off workers' housing scheme, cancels them on industrial action.
The two unions have agreed to suspend the 3 days warning strike.
Ratawe and UJ suspend warning strike following directive by the federal government to look into their demands. And plight of internally displaced persons in focus as stakeholders dialogue on national migration. Good evening and welcome to NTA Network News. My name is Funke Oga. President Goodluck Jonathan has flagged off the nationwide workers' housing scheme as he urged the labor unions to partner with government rather than being confrontational whenever there is an industrial dispute. State House correspondent Shegun Lawale reports.
Critical challenges facing Nigerian workers is housing. And to fill the gap and reduce the deficit, President Jonathan had promised to provide 100,000 housing units for workers for them to own a decent home. It is in fulfillment of the promise that the president officially flagged off the nationwide workers' housing scheme. The first phase of the scheme by the federal government is in collaboration with the Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, and the Trade Union Congress, TUC, as well as a private developer.
As we flag off this project today, I promise that our administration will not waver on our commitment to transform our country. And in doing that, we'll make sure that the counterpart infrastructure development of the mass housing is accorded top priority. I call on the entire Nigerian working class to continue to serve as partners in progress with the government and social partners with the employers through the NLC and TUC. This will ensure that there is industrial harmony in their places of work.
Already, between 2010 and 2014, a total of 43,000 housing units have been added to the national housing stock, particularly for junior and intermediate cadre of workers.
I reaffirm that we will not rest on our oars until we significantly reduce the housing in the country.
Today's event is a clear statement, Mr. President, that you are posed to improve on the welfare of public servants. We say a big thank you to you.
Your Excellency, we share in your belief that workers are the engine room of any productive economy, and their level of welfare can be reflected by the standard of their housing accommodation. Consequently, the provision of adequate housing for workers is not only a product of government benevolence under your distinguished leadership, but a compelling necessity.
So this is a call for us to support Mr. President so that he can continue to deliver on his transformational agenda in ensuring that Nigeria is taken to the next level.
The leadership of the NLC and TUC, who represented the beneficiaries, expressed profound appreciation to the President and the Federal Capital Territory Administration for making one of the dreams of workers a reality, especially waivers on the property expected to reduce the cost of the unit.
Your government has etched its name in gold in the mind of Nigerian workers. It remains indelible and therefore our gratitude.
I would want to plead that
the FCT minister or the conglomeration of the ministers looking at this thing will have to initiate something to make sure that we resolve these issues at a round table discussion, so that all these waivers will now be seen to translate into reduction of the cost of the housing for Nigerian workers.
The uniqueness of this particular scheme is that while houses will be built in large numbers, they will be of high quality and of very decent and affordable rate.
In other words, a percentage of the monthly salary will now go towards the monthly mortgage repayment as opposed to paying 1 or 2 years rent in advance to landlords.
The first phase of the project, located at Akpo, Tafiai district of Abuja, is to be completed by the end of May 2015. In Abuja, Segun Lawole, NTA News.
President Goodluck Jonathan has tasked participants at the maiden edition of National Migration Dialogue to fully examine the situation of internal displacement in Nigeria. State House correspondent Hamza Musa Makrafi reports that the event is part of activities marking International Day of Migrants.
18th December is International Day of Migrants as Nigeria joins the global community in marking the day. But Nigeria chooses to be different as it celebrates the day by bringing participants from the 36 states to hold National Migration Dialogue. The theme of dialogue is better migration management as a tool for national development. The initiative is by the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, as President Jonathan, represented by Vice President Namadi Sambo, says the dialogue will shape national migratory orientation. In addition, the President says with the dialogue, Nigeria showcases its readiness and commitment to taking practical steps in mainstreaming migration in the post-2015 United Nations Development Agenda.
Beyond that, our priority is not only on international migration, but also reflects the internal migratory friction being experienced in some part of our country. The Nigerian Constitution guarantees the right of every Nigerian to reside anywhere in the country without discrimination. Therefore, I call on all present at this National Migration Dialogue to take the responsibility of synthesizing Nigerians and government at all levels to respect this right.
Other speakers say migration issues can be tackled. The national dialogue ends Friday. From the Sheikh Musa Adwa Center, Abuja, I am Hamza Musa Makarpi, NTA News.
Striking workers in public media houses have been directed to resume work as the strike has been suspended. Correspondent Anthony Fossen reports that the directive for the workers to return to work was given after the federal government agreed to look into the demands of the striking workers with a view to resolving the matter once and for all.
The unions are demanding for improved funding for public media houses, improvement on decaying infrastructure, as well as what they described as foreseen negative effects of the proposed merger of parastatals in the cultural sector. After elaborate consultations on the need to address these concerns, a document that will guide in further discussions were signed by the parties concerned, presided over by Chairman of BON and DG, Nigerian Television Authority, Shola Omole. Representatives of the Ministry of Information and that of Labour, alongside NUJ and Ratau, all signed the agreement for the strike to be suspended and talks continue.
Having jointly signed a communique and a memorandum of understanding, the two unions have agreed to suspend the 3 days warning strike.
The content of the agreement that we have signed, as rightly pointed out by the President of Ratau, should be part of the document that will facilitate, by the grace of God, positive discussion with the Labour, so that eventually in the near future we'll be able to have document and compliance and implementation of strategy that will further enhance the welfare of our members.
But for states and private media houses, Yemisi Gbamboshi and Mohamed Garba say
in those states where the weighing allowance that was approved for the media and culture workers since 2012 have not been implemented. As we had already stated in the letter written to management and government and our members, their own strike is indefinite.
We are coming up with records, comprehensive records of those media organizations that have not unionized. We are also coming up with comprehensive records of those who are defaulting in areas of payment of salaries and other entitlements. And I want to assure you that very soon we will storm Lagos and we will ensure that appropriate action are taken against such media organizations.
With the strike suspended, talks will resume Thursday. In Abuja, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the 45th meeting of the National Council on Information rose from its 2-day meeting in Abuja with a 6-point communique on how to strategize ahead of the 2015 general elections. Again, correspondent Anthony Forson reports.
The 2-day session had the Supervising Minister of Information, Dr. Nuruddin Mohammed, as chairman, with heads of parastatals and agencies fully represented. Reading the outcome of the meeting, Chairman, Communique Committee, Hamza Elayo Mohammed said a lot needs to be done ahead of 2015 general elections.
Council resolved 1. That the roles of the media in sustainable information management should be enhanced in the interest of national security. That the role of mass media managers at federal, state, and local council levels should be harnessed for adequate mobilization and civic education towards enhancing voter registration as well as credible and peaceful elections.
Other issues that caught the attention of the council were the empowerment of women and using film cooperation as a potent tool to build a robust awareness platform. In Abuja, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
And we now move on to education matters. Despite the disbursement of over 7 billion naira to the Federal University, Kashere, Gombe State, there has been slow progress in the execution of projects in the institution. Minister of Education, Malam Ibrahim Shekarau, has therefore urged contractors to speed up work or face sanctions. Franca Ozomaolua reports that this was during the weekly assessment tour of institutions in Gombe State. Her report.
Established in 2012, the Federal University Kashere, Gombe State, has a total of 795 academic and non-academic staff in the senior and junior categories. Vice-Chancellor Professor Mohammed Farouk says the university currently suffers shortage in personnel cost and has not been able to recruit new staff.
We had a shortage in our personnel funding, so we are not able to recruit a single new staff in this university. And we have tremendous needs, especially with accreditation coming up.
The Education Minister inaugurated the staff quarters to encourage the staff to relocate to Kashere and also inspected other TED Fund special intervention projects. At the Gombe State University and Federal College of Education Technical, the minister inspected the building for the School of Postgraduate Studies and the Center for Entrepreneurship Development Studies. The team also visited Gombe State Governor Ibrahim Dankwambo, who commended the federal government on its support for education in the state.
We have also applied to the federal government to consider us when they are allocating the federal polytechnics.
At the end, the Education Minister sums up the visit this way.
Projects that we have commissioned in all the institutions we have visited, I feel quite satisfied. They are quite solid. The furnishing and the finishing are quite satisfactory.
The weekly inspection tour is designed to assess progress made so far, especially in TED Fund intervention projects across the Federation. Franca Uzoma Olwa, NTA News.
And the Britain-Nigeria Educational Trust is playing a leading role in supporting various projects for the development of education in Nigeria. The Nigerian High Commissioner to the United Kingdom, Dr. Dalhatu Tafida, says the trust has spent over £900,000 for programs in different locations in the country. Hawa Yusuf Funtua completes the story.
The Britain-Nigeria Educational Trust was established in 1968 to promote friendship and understanding between the United Kingdom and Nigeria by providing financial support for the education of Nigerians. Annually, the Nigerian High Commission in the UK hosts a reception to discuss the commitments and projects financed by the Trust.
And in particular, the promotion of education and human capital development.
Observations and suggestions were made by various speakers in the areas of sponsorship, research and development, as well as the challenges.
We're a small organization and have very little influence. But what influence we have, we will hope to use for the improvement of education in Nigeria and to prevent young people growing up without learning.
Since its inception, BNet has awarded scholarship to indigent students, developed an e-library at the University of Benin, completed the building of classrooms at the Girls' School Umutu and Diocese of Warri, upgrading of NCE teachers, sponsored scholarships through the Association of Commonwealth Universities, among smaller projects in Kaduna and Jos. From London, Hawa Yusuf Funtua, NTA News.
And a bit of energy report. With no immediate solution in sight to the plummeting global price of crude oil and gas, major gas-producing countries across the world have identified measures such as assessing alternative markets and leveraging their gas resources for their country's development. This came to fore at the just concluded 16th ministerial meeting of 13-member gas-exporting countries in Doha, where Nigeria's Petroleum Minister Diziani Alison Madueke emerged the new president of the forum. Hawa Saliu Adama completes the story.
With about 70% of the world's proven gas reserves in the possession of the 13-member forum and the place of gas as the energy of the future, ensuring the balance for producers and consumers of gas is one responsibility the gas exporting countries forum considers top priority. For the 14-year forum, although the current decline in global prices of both crude oil and gas are forecast to turn around in mid-2015, falling gas demand in Europe and America, due basically to policy measures, calls for re-strategizing.
For one country to be entrusted with the leadership of the two most important organizations in the energy sector, it shows that they want some kind of level of coordination between the oil and gas sectors.
Though absent at the meeting, mainly to address pressing industry issues back home, the commitment of the newly appointed president of the forum towards in-country development of the gas sector was one participants agreed will ensure long-term benefits for resource holders.
Nigeria will come out smiling because I think government has put in place all the basic tenets for us to be able to weather the storm, both domestically and export-wise.
With increased visibility for Nigeria occupying the #1 leadership position in the global energy industry, experts say some of the country's major challenges, such as crude oil theft and vandalism of gas infrastructure, will receive increased global attention. In Doha, Qatar, I am Hawa Salihu Adama, NTA News.
And back home, the federal government has declared Thursday 25th and Friday 26th December as public holidays to mark Christmas and Boxing Day celebrations. A statement by the Minister of Interior, Comrade Patrick Abba-Moro, says similarly, Thursday, January 1st, 2015, has been declared a public holiday to mark the new year. Comrade Abba-Moro enjoins all Christians and other Nigerians to extend the spiritual benefits of Christmas, which are love, peace, justice, and kindness to their daily living, and through these contribute to the development of Nigeria. He also urges Nigerians to use the festive season to pray for peace and unity of the country. Gunmen suspected to be members of the Boko Haram sects have killed 32 people and abducted more than 100 women and children in Gumsuri village of Borno State. The gunmen carried out the attack Sunday evening. Among those killed was the chief imam of the village and the chairman of the civilian joint task force in the area. Reports say a 5-man committee has been set up by the Damboa Local Government Council to ascertain the level of destruction and actual number of people abducted in the wake of the attack. And ahead on the news tonight, stakeholders at strategic discussion on 2015 elections blame politicians and their elites for improper conduct. Details when we return.
chords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood.
Change is never easy. It was not easy for Dr. Martin Luther King when Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew transformed Singapore from third world to first world. It was not easy. They stoned him. It was not easy for Nelson Mandela.
I, Barack Hussein Obama.
It was not easy for Barack Obama. Nothing worthwhile ever is. Dr. Martin Luther King did it. Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew did it. Nelson Mandela did it. Barack Obama did it. Goodluck Jonathan is doing it. He is transforming Nigeria. Mr. President, keep doing it. We who are with you are so many more than those who are against you. A message from protectors of Nigerian posterity.
Hey! 10 million naira!
Which 10 million naira?
You nearly win 10 million naira for MTN Cash Quest!
You a dream. I tell you, sir, today, Michael not they move. You don't hear the ping phone. Which person can you carry?
Person? When they tell you opposition of surprises, you don't understand. I win now for MTN Cash Quest.
You see the look? Plenty people don't they win 10 million naira every week and 1 million naira every day. To win, just text yes to 1010 for free and correct who go with you. Whether that TV, generator or phone, you fit win all for free every day.
MTN, everywhere you go.
Season's greetings from FCMB, My Bank and I.
Oh yeah, wait, I call my bed. Very call me, important call. Play game. My carry don't finish. What you concern me for carry don't finish? I'm gonna play game. Junior, yeah, they come. Very important call. Beg, run fast here. Buy me glue credit here. Run fast. I top. See what I want to do now. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hey! Play. Look, I load my credit. Play game. Don't dull me. Mama Kimuchi don't arrange every corner they wait for me. Corona, I load them. Do quick, make a beat you, make a go. Hey, thank you. Sammy, where Glow Overload through you go?
Get free 200% bonus guarantee. Recharge 200 naira. Get 600 naira airtime. Get 200% bonus on data bundle. Recharge 2,000 naira. Get 2.5 gigabyte data. Plus, you could win 100 times cash dash on your recharge.
Sammy?
Dial star 200 # to activate.
The Dettol and Ministry of Health team is visiting schools to teach children how to protect themselves from diseases.
Do you know what germs are? They are tiny, harmful, living things that you pick up from dirty surfaces. These germs can make you ill and prevent you from doing all the things you like to do with friends. That's why you need to fight them by washing your hands regularly with Dettol soap.
Mom, today we learned how to fight germs with Dettol soap.
Johnny's come to find out why. He's the only one missing out on gifts and surprises this season.
The solution to your problems is right there in your wallet. There it is. Put it back in your phone. You can now start to enjoy all the surprises you've been missing.
Put your MTN SIM back in your phone. Text 11 to 400 and watch the surprises start rolling in.
MTN, everywhere you go.
Transformation ambassadors of Nigeria.
My good people of Nigeria, does anybody use mirror to look at what you have at hand? No! Good luck at the ingredients of life. Automobile industries, full encouragement. Second Niger bridge from mirage to reality. Good luck! Railways, seaports and airports are come back to modern life. Good luck! Or a Benin highway and other federal highways from dead trap to modern spectacle. Good luck! Ayua, petrol and nyaf with control price and so many other etc. Good luck I do. Good luck are going to do, and good luck will be yours. Are you see what I'm saying? Only good luck affects the security challenges of Nigeria with honesty and commitment, fighting terrorism to a halt. Good luck continue for Nigeria.
This message is brought to you courtesy Transformation Ambassadors of Nigeria. Down for One Vision, Nigeria.
Johnny S5.5, the slimmest in the world. Johnny, to be needed, to be loved. Johnny M2, 28 days standby time. Johnny, to be needed, to be loved.
Good to have you back on Network News on Africa's largest television network, NTA. As Christmas celebration draws closer, Nigerians have been urged to continue to preach love and unity of the country with conviction that God will surely deliver the country. President Jonathan made the remarks at this year's Christmas Carol. State House correspondent Segun Lawole reports.
It is another time of the year to celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ, who came to the world for the redemption of mankind from sin. This year's Carol of 9 lessons held at the State House Banquet Hall was quite colorful. President Goodluck Jonathan, who joined the other brethren to acknowledge the power of persistent prayers by various religious bodies, urged Nigerians to continue to pray without ceasing for unity, especially as the country is approaching the election year.
Live with our commitment, with our prayers, and also pray that God should give those of us who have been privileged to be handling sensitive matters for the rest of us to do these things with the fear of God. And if we begin to do what is right in our little ways, we'll surely go through the challenges. And we promise that with any opportunity given to us, we'll use it to serve mankind. Pray for the country, pray for our unity, pray for the next election, for the country to end peacefully.
There were prayers for peace, unity, and the forthcoming general elections, and for the country to end peacefully. From the Banquet Hall Presidential Villa, Abuja, Segun Lawole, NTA News.
Let's now treat some political issues. The presidential candidate of the National Conscience Party, Mr. Martin Zanobo, has pledged a robust economic policy that will emancipate Nigerians from poverty if given the mandate in 2015 elections. The candidate was speaking at the flag-off of presidential campaign and presentation of the party's agenda ahead of the election. Abdullahi Garba Bin Kodo reports.
To ensure effective campaign machinery, the National Conscience Party announced the temporary collapse of its national structure with the national chairman of the party to head the team. NCP pledged to fight poverty, introduce effective healthcare policy, an agricultural revolution, and a diversified economy if given the opportunity.
The 10K program of our National Conscience Party will ensure the abolition of poverty. Some people think that it is idealistic, but it is simple. If we have employment, have housing, have food security, we have abolished poverty. We will increase minimum wage by reducing maximum wage.
The national chairman, Dr. Yunusa Tanko, restated NCP's commitment to provide level playing field for all.
And so also the NCP, as a party, did not charge any candidate any kobo to contest election under the party. Our party nomination forms are free.
INEC has fixed December 18th for the submission of candidates by all political parties. In Abuja, Abdullahi Garba Kudu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, politicians and Nigerians have been urged to respect the rule of law and be patriotic citizens. The chairman, National Advisory Council of the Save Democracy Group, Senator Ibrahim Mantu, made a submission at the public presentation in Abuja of the book Mind of the Nation Builders, written by Samuel Amadi. Correspondent Ifeanyi Zumba reports.
The 164-page book examines the role of institutions in nation building and the wisdom of the founding fathers, which is centered on a united, peaceful and democratic Nigeria guided by the principles of equity and fairness.
Books like this will actually help to reduce to a very large extent the number of people who will perhaps go astray.
I recommend the requisites, something we should be looking out for when we are looking for a leader.
The book reviewer, Erasmus Onwudinjo, said the publication is a handbook for concerned citizens and leaders.
The book has come at the right time to make Nigerians know what it takes to have a nation, the mindset of a nation builder.
Rise up to the need to preserve our democracy through increment of true democratic culture.
The Mind of the Nation Builder is an inspirational book written for lovers of democracy to mobilize the reader to think globally, individually and collectively to protect and sustain the gains of democracy. In Abuja, Ifeanyi Zumba, NT News.
Participants at a strategic discussion on securing 2015 elections have blamed politicians and their elites for their unguarded utterances and conducts which to a large extent affect the credibility of elections. Bonaventure Nwodo reports that the meeting was at the instance of Nigeria Police Force. His report.
Professor Tahiru Jega observed that politicians either induced or intimidate the electoral officials, security agencies, and others involved in the election to compromise the conduct of the election.
If the politicians continue to do what they have been doing, the work of the Electoral Commission will be undermined and it will not be effective. But most importantly, if other partners, in particular security agencies, do not do their best and do not secure the electoral process with impartiality and non-partisanship, then obviously everything that we do as an election management body will not deliver that aspiration of Nigerians.
He said INEC has made adequate preparations for the conduct of the 2015 general election.
We have made sure that result sheets are customized now. There is one result sheet per polling unit. If there is emergency, we have a very rigorous procedure for replacement. And therefore, the possibility of somebody snatching a result sheet and substituting it, we believe is a thing of the past.
Inspector General of Police Suleiman Abba says the police is committed to providing comprehensive security for the 2015 elections.
A well-articulated election strategy can only be jeopardized if peace and security are threatened. Thus, all law enforcement agencies must be professional, impartial, and observe extant rules and international norms in the conduct and performance of their duties.
Other stakeholders, including lawyers and experts, presented papers on security of elections. In Abuja, Bonaventure Wood, NTA News.
Oh, Kai. The National Council on Privatization has given its approval to the successful bidder of MTEL Natcom Consortium at the sum of $252 million. State House correspondent Hamza Musa Makafi reports that the Vice President, Muhammadu Namadi Sambo, chaired the meeting.
Council calls it liquidation transaction as the new buyer, Natcom Consortium, takes over the organization without liabilities.
So what happened today was that the NCP was approving the transaction, which is like the final phase of the approvals, because only the NCP has the powers to pronounce a winner. So the NCP today confirmed the process, and so the transaction, from the point of view of approvals and emergence of a preferred bidder, is now confirmed.
What follows after this approval is documentation and payment of the agreed sum in the exercise. But privatization is not limited only to sale of public enterprises. Other concerns include monitoring to making sure that the enterprises perform as expected.
That's the whole essence of it. So quite a number of entities were looked at, and reports on them were taken, and the council deliberated on the next steps to take to make sure that the recommendations on these ways forward are properly implemented.
Council was delighted to note that Indorama has fulfilled all the covenants that were contained in the share purchase agreement and in the post-acquisition plan. Indorama has implemented all the covenants, and having satisfied all the conditions in the sales agreement, Council approved that they should be released from the 5-year monitoring period.
Vice President Sambo will officially hand over a release certificate to the petrochemical company on the 23rd of this month. Labor issues and other areas discussed by Council.
There are only a few, and those few ones have been addressed. Today, the policy and draft bill for the tourism sector and national parks was tabled before Council for deliberation. Also tabled before Council today, which is part of our work plan, achievement of our work plan, was the reform and restructuring of FHA and reform of the housing sector.
Council says it made significant progress on 8 reform bills to be presented to the Federal Executive Council at appropriate time. From the Presidential Villa Abuja, I am Hamza Musa Makarpi, NTA News.
Interior Minister Patrick Abba Moro has challenged the newly appointed Controller General of the Nigerian Prison Service to build on the change initiative that have been introduced with services for enhanced productivity. The minister threw the challenge at the decoration of the 2 appointees with their new ranks. Yohe Kwange reports.
As well as prison breaks, market, household and office fires are also getting rampant, especially now that the dry season has properly set in. Comrade Abba Moro, who decorated the 2 new chiefs, said government has, under the transformation agenda, initiated changes to enhance greater productivity and service delivery. He said with the level of insecurity due to insurgency and fire disasters in the country, they must redouble their efforts.
It is my hope that you will not deviate from the record of achievements that have been attained in your various services. Let me formally congratulate you, but to urge you to go from here completely reinvigorated by the enormity of your responsibility before you and take charge of your services.
For the Comptroller General of Prison, Dr. Peter Ezenwa Ekpendu, and his fire service counterpart, Anebi Joseph Garba, the challenges are enormous and they must hit the ground running.
We have tried to involve our sister agencies, the military, police, SSS, and all that, and DSS, so that they will assist us through a combined effort and combined operation, we'll be able to provide enough security for the prisons and ensure that there's neither external or internal attack.
Fire awareness campaign, telling them that this is the season, and people need to be very careful in the way of handling fire issues.
The two chiefs have since taken over their commands substantively. In Abuja, Johan Kwange, NTA News.
Federal government to strengthen tax administration. That's coming on Business News shortly. Stay with us.
50,000 naira. Free money, free money, free money. This is no news. They said they're giving away free money. Free money. Free money? That's money. Madam, who's giving out free money? It's the Cherry Noodles Naira Hot promo. When you buy a carton of Cherry Noodles, you may see one or even 2 packs with an amount written on the sizzling sachet. Go to the nearest Cherry Noodles retail shop and collect your cash instantly. Hurry! It's the Cherry Noodles Naira Hot promo. Cherry Noodles, love at first taste.
Patience. Now which kind of rice be this one? If I know, this one na elephant gold rice. Elephant skinny. Now which one be elephant gold rice? Elephant gold rice na 100% sorted parboiled long grain rice. Elephant gold rice get the picture of elephant for the back, and you fit get am for 25 and 50 kg. Now he come make me fall in love with am. Oh yeah, you sef, buy one for your family today. Make you fit enjoy the sweet taste of ogbonge rice.
Elephant gold rice. Rice for people wey sabi rice.
I need a great deal, the best price I can get. That's why I shop on Jumia. Quality you can trust. You can count on us. Nationwide delivery. We make shopping easier. National delivery. When you shop on Jumia, when the rain or shine.
Get the all-new Phantom Z at 52,999 naira at jumia.com.ng.
Jumia, the online shop you can trust.
Johnny S5.5, the slimmest in the world. Johnny, to be needed, to be loved.
The federal government is to strengthen tax administration during the 2015 fiscal year, just as the Central Bank of Nigeria bans banks from holding their own funds in dollars to end speculative pressure on the ailing naira. Bosede Adebayo has the details.
Welcome to Business News. Statistics indicate that 30% of those who receive tax waivers on pioneer status abuse it. This is why the federal government is taking a second look at tax waivers and exemptions within the overall objective of strengthening tax administration in the country. The coordinating minister of the Nigerian economy at a public presentation of the 2015 budget said Nigeria has one of the lowest value-added tax in the world. She said some of the measures that would be introduced are aimed at a more aggressive non-oil revenue drive and more efficient expenditure.
And we are keeping domestic borrowing on a downward trend. We are keeping it at about the same as last year, at about 570 billion naira, which is comparable to the 572 billion for 2014. So we have decided that we are not going to go and borrow our way out of this, but we are going to take the necessary measures to weather this without further exacerbating our debt.
The country director, World Bank, and the President Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers counseled the government on areas of improvement in the budget implementation.
I think that the infrastructure master plan has provided a very good platform to create what I call a virtuous cycle of development.
One of the biggest issues that the private sector can bring to the table will be areas that have value for money based on how government budgets and the targeting for government budgets.
And for us also, as ministers and all public officials, you only travel
You only travel if you have to. Statutory travels are the only travel that I, as a team minister, will approve for any of my staffs, or the president that will approve for me.
That's a beat on business. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Bosedi. The National Institute for Hospitality and Tourism, NIHOTA, is set to ensure sustainable tourism development and high standard of service delivery in the sector in Nigeria. This is with a view to making Nigeria the #1 hospitality and tourism industry in Africa. Elizabeth Banu, who was at a one-day stakeholder summit by NIHOTA in Abuja, now reports.
Breathtaking views of waterfalls, game reserves, festivals, as well as quality handicraft, Nigeria is indeed endowed with enormous tourism potential. And to make tourism development sustainable, deliberate efforts have been made by the National Institute for Hospitality and Tourism, NIHOTA, to train and retrain service providers in the hospitality industry. Minister of Tourism, Culture and National Orientation, Edem Duke, says with oil becoming a wasting resource, services now become the critical focal point for Nigeria to grow its economy.
We will grow tourism and culture and hospitality, and we will ensure that we help to grow the national purse, enhance our businesses, place jobs at the disposal of our youths, and truly make a difference in Nigeria.
And the responsibility to train operators and managers and regulate professional practice in the hospitality sector rests on NIHOTA.
Engaging with the stakeholders the way we have started today, upping our game in the quality of training that we actually also give out, upping our game in regulating other training institutes, that private institutes for the sector, that in 24 months we should see a turnaround.
Nigeria has over 8,000 hotels. The consensus here is that with the human resources and beautiful environment Nigeria is blessed with, there is no reason why Nigeria cannot be the #1 tourist destination in Africa. In Abuja, I am Elizabeth Banu, NTA News.
And the leadership of the West Africa Students' Union Parliament has conferred Kwame Nkrumah Leadership Award on the Special Advisor to the President on Inter-Party Affairs, Senator Ben Obi, in his office. The leader of the 5-man delegation, Solomon Mensah Samuel, of the University of Ghana, presented the plaque described by the honoree as an impetus to continue to support the growth and development of youths in Nigeria and in the sub-region.
An honor and privilege to accept the award, to join other greats in the Kwame Nkrumah Hall of Fame.
To reach out to the less privileged in your own constituency, you've been able to give out to the less privileged, you've been able to educate those that are uneducated.
And at the same time to advocate for good governance and social justice for all.
The West African Students' Union Parliament is the umbrella body for students within the West African countries, which has the objectives of promoting harmonious coexistence, peace and economic stability in the continent. Global tidbits and sports are next when we return. Stay with us.
I bet you can touch your nose with your thumb. A nose? It's the same with your toilet. There are many places in your toilet that detergents cannot clean. That is why the new Harpic 5 times Complete gives you 5 times better cleaning than detergent from the rim all the way to the U-bend, making your toilet completely clean. With Harpic 5 times Complete, you will definitely reach all the hard-to-clean places in your toilet.
Harpic Power Plus. Buy now for only 350 Naira.
It doesn't matter what comes, fresh goes better in life. With
Mentos candy. Crunchy outside, chewy inside.
Oh, stay fresh, stay cool with Mentos. Fresh and full of life. Stay fresh, stay cool with Mentos.
Mentos Candy. Get the fresh idea.
Know that you are exposed to up to 100 illness-causing germs every day?
I encourage my kids to learn new things, and if they get hurt, I rely on my Dettol to fight germs. It's like my own first aid kit.
My family needs protection from germs. My Dettol disinfects surfaces and clothes, keeping them clean and safe from germs.
Not to do so. Na promo. You say come become millionaire.
You never hear say NAFDAC don't bring wetin they call mobile authentication service. We go help us know whether medicine na fake or not before we pay. Now come see. As I scratch this thing wey be like recharge card so, come send the pin to 38353 free of charge. I will call receive text message to confirm. Okay. Original.
Troy, just like that, we confirm whether medicine is fake or not instant.
That way you self don't wise up. Make you help not that spread the story.
Now the way that. Madam, come and take your money.
Now, National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, they bring on this message.
Bragging is not President Goodluck Jonathan's style, so you'd hardly hear him brag about all the great things he is doing for Nigeria. He wouldn't tell you he's the first president to privatize power, to give us a constant supply of electricity and economic prosperity. Soon your electricity will be like your mobile phones, 24 hours, 7 days a week. He won't brag about security, new roads, new rail, or new airports, eliminating corruption in agriculture and saving $25 billion per year, mass housing projects, or that our economy is growing at the fastest rate in the world. He wouldn't brag about any of it because he knows there's a lot more to be done. Mr. President, right on. We that are with you are so many more than those who are against you. A message from protectors of Nigerian posterity.
Good to have you back. Uproar in Kenya's parliament over new security bill as Russian President Vladimir Putin assures his countrymen of better and robust economy in 2 years' time, but without offering any remedy on how it will be achieved. These are among global tidbits with Chimdima Ndobisi.
Even after Kenya's new security bill debate, which seeks to give authorities more powers to fight militancy, was postponed for the third time, it still raised dust Thursday, leading to a free-for-all at the parliament during debate. Some lawmakers exchanged blows, while opposition members tore copies of the bill. In Egypt, 40 Muslim Brotherhood supporters accused of burning structures last year have been sentenced to 15 years in prison, while 61 others were acquitted. And the United Nations General Assembly is asking that North Korea be brought before the International Criminal Court, ICC, for crimes against humanity. On Israel-Palestinian peace talks, Jordan has presented a draft resolution that will be implemented within a year before the United Nations Security Council. The deal states Israel should withdraw from occupied territories by 2017. On insurgency, a court in Pakistan has granted bail to a suspect accused of masterminding Mumbai attack of 2008 in India, which killed at least 150 people. That's Global Tidbits. Chimdema Ndubisi, NTA News.
And on sports, the top 20 remains unchanged in this year's last edition of the FIFA World Ranking released Thursday. Germany still leads, while Nigeria occupies the 43rd position in the world. Kene Emabutike has more reports on Sports Update.
Former Chief of Naval Staff Vice Admiral Jubrila Ayinla has advocated that all sportsmen and women in Nigeria should cultivate the habit of playing chess in order to develop their intellectual and cognitive abilities. Vice Admiral Ayinla made a call at an exhibition game in his honor in Abuja, which also had former national champions and some members of the Nigeria Chess Federation in participation.
Chess is like a combination of science, mathematics, and arts and music put together in one subject.
In chess, we close our eyes and play sometimes, which we call blindfold chess. A footballer should be able to see what is coming behind him without looking back. That's why we encourage all our sports people, when they're in camp and they are not actually training in the field, they should play chess.
The credibility of FIFA continues to suffer setbacks as former U.S. prosecutor Michael Garcia resigns as FIFA's chief corruption investigator in protest at the football governing body's handling of his report into the 2018 and 2022 World Cups. Garcia on Wednesday attacked the lack of leadership by FIFA over the inquiry into the 2010 vote that awarded the 2018 World Cup to Russia and the 2022 tournament to Qatar ahead of several countries, including Australia. FIFA President Sepp Blatter said he was surprised at Garcia's decision, but other influential figures, including UEFA President Michel Platini, said the resignation was a new failure by FIFA. With Sports Update, Kene Imabodike, NTA News.
And before we take our leave, we'd like to remind you again that it is your right to challenge anybody suspected to be involved in unwholesome activities around you. Be security conscious. This message is from the Directorate of State Security. And with that, we conclude NTA Network News today. Thanks for being there. Good night and God bless.
All of us. The safety of our communities is in our hands. The police need our help and support. Boko Haram threatens our lives, our future, our country. But Nigeria belongs to us. God has blessed us with this rich land. Let us protect her as we protect each other. Report any criminal activity. Call these numbers. Your call is anonymous, and it is vitally important. Your support so far has been critical. Continuing it will make all the difference between a Nigeria of the fearful and a Nigeria of the free. Protect each other, for we are not terrorists. We are Nigerians. A message from the State Security Service.
Just as music and man remain inseparable, same goes for you and my music and I. Join us every Tuesday at 10 a.m. and a repeat broadcast on Saturday at 12:30 p.m. My music and I, refreshing and exciting. Don't miss it.
Nigeria needs peace and stability. Achieve our goals in unity. We are brothers and sisters, we've lived together for years now. Say no to violence now. Sing it with me.
Peace, peace, peace. Let's all embrace peace.
We are brothers and sisters, we've lived together for years now.
Say no to violence now.
No religion preaches violence. We need understanding and tolerance. You can be you, I can be me. That's the way it should be. Say no to violence now. Sing it one more time.
Peace, peace, peace. Let's all embrace peace.
In the family, in schools, at work, everywhere.
Say no to violence now.
Toast to dancer.
My assistant.
Even when I cook this, I prefer eating out of this one.
You know, food is very essential for our well-being.